Zootopia 2 is such an absolute blast of an adventure that it's easy for fans to get swept up in the laughs, the chases, and the heartfelt moments, and almost forget just how packed it is with clever secrets, subtle world-building details, and unanswered questions that make you want to rewatch it immediately. Did you catch some of the bigger mysteries this movie left lingering? For instance, children watching at home might not have realized it, but the film quietly suggests that in the world of Zootopia, it is entirely possible for a fox to have children with a rabbit. Think about that scene down at the bustling city docks where Nick and Judy are in disguise as a married couple. The anteater they speak with initially finds their pairing unusual, but he accepts the idea of them being together, married, and even raising a child without batting an eye. Of course, it was all part of their clever undercover operation, but the casual acceptance speaks volumes. In a city where Judy's massive rabbit family boasts over 200 siblings, sticking to your own species seems like the norm for many. Yet the complete lack of shock or scandal around an interspecies couple with a kid implies that cross-species relationships and families aren't just tolerated. They might be more common than we thought. That little detail has made a lot of fans very happy, sparking all kinds of hopeful theories about Nick and Judy's future. And trust me, details like that are just the beginning. There is so much more layered into this movie than meets the eye. You know what time it is. Another deep dive into the hidden gems of Zootopia 2. Let's start with something that could have serious consequences down the line. Have you noticed that Gazelle, the beloved pop star, and her energetic tiger dancers might actually be headed for legal trouble in a future story? It sounds wild, but the setup is there. Remember the glamorous ballroom scene at the opulent Lynx family mansion? We see the zebra officers roughly pushing and manhandling Gazelle and her crew. She gets visibly furious and openly vows revenge. Later in the film, Gazelle and her tigers end up turning the tables and giving the Zebra brothers a beatdown in a scene that's played for big laughs. But let's pause the comedy for a second and look at it seriously. The Zebra brothers are active police officers at that moment, carrying out what they believe are the mayor's orders. Assaulting law enforcement, even if the officers were in the wrong, is a major crime that could carry serious prison time in the real world, and Zootopia's laws seem to treat it with similar gravity. The movie lets it slide for the sake of fun, but will Zootopia 3 open with Gazelle facing charges? It's a good thing Chief Bogo is such a massive fan of her music. Otherwise, the pop superstar could find herself in real hot water. This detail adds a layer of consequence and world realism that makes the universe feel lived in and unpredictable. Then there are the looks. You've probably felt it too. Judy and Nick seem noticeably closer in this sequel, with glances that linger just a little longer and interactions that feel more intimate than simple partnership. Sure, plenty of fans prefer them staying best friends forever, but Disney is clearly planting seeds for something more romantic. One standout moment happens when they first see each other dressed up for the fancy ball. Nick looks sharp in his tailored suit, Judy glows in that sunny yellow dress, and when he makes a playful joke, she gives him that affectionate little punch on the arm, the kind of coupley banter that feels electric. But the real heart of it comes during their emotional reconciliation after their big fight. In that tender scene, they essentially deliver declarations of love without saying the exact words. Nick tells Judy she's his pack, meaning his chosen family, and Judy opens up about how Nick is central to the life and community she wants to build. They don't officially become a couple by the credits, but the movie pushes the idea significantly further than the first film. Many viewers now believe it's only a matter of time before these two end up together. Whether that's the direction you want or not, it's fascinating to watch Disney develop their bond with such care and subtlety. Disney loves weaving in self-references, and Zootopia 2 is full of them. One of the funniest is during the chaotic fight involving Nick and Gary the snake. Nick grabs a frying pan and smacks the snake right on the head, a hilarious direct nod to Tangled, where Rapunzel famously uses the same kitchen weapon to knock out Flynn Rider. It seems Disney characters have a long-standing appreciation for turning household items into improvised combat tools. And speaking of kitchens, keep your eyes peeled during the wild chase sequence inside the Lynx mansion. In the background, there's a lion chef with a tiny mouse peeking out from under his tall white hat, a super quick but delightful reference to Ratatouille. The joke flies by so fast that even dedicated fans sometimes miss it on first watch, but once you spot it, it adds an extra layer of joy and reminds us how interconnected the Disney animated universe can feel. Eyes are another brilliant touch. Did you catch Mr. Big's eyes actually opening in the purse shop scene? That's incredibly rare in the Zootopia universe. In the original movie and the Zootopia Plus shorts, the tiny shrew mafia boss usually keeps those intense eyes mostly closed for dramatic effect. But when Nick refuses to kiss the ring of Mr. Big's granddaughter in this sequel, the boss gets so furious that his eyes snap open wide. It's a small moment, but incredibly effective and memorable. Of course, the entire Mr. Big family continues to serve as a loving homage to The Godfather, with the Shrews operating like a pint-sized organized crime syndicate, complete with respect, loyalty, and dramatic flair. It's a reference that flies over the heads of younger viewers, and probably for the best, since the original film is definitely for mature audiences. On a darker note, one detail that hits hard once you notice it is that Judy Hopps was genuinely in mortal danger at one point. When the villainous Pabard attacks her with snake venom, he's replicating exactly what his great-grandfather did in the past. In that intense sequence, Pabard was truly attempting to end Judy's life. If Nick and Gary hadn't intervened when they did, our brave bunny hero might not have made it. It's a surprisingly heavy moment for a Disney animated film, underscoring how high the stakes truly are and how seriously the writers are treating the threats in this world. That attempt adds real tension and makes Judy's bravery even more admirable. Speaking of snake venom and consequences, let's talk about Gary's tooth. After the ballroom chaos, Gary accidentally bites Chief Bogo, losing one of his fangs in the process. By the film's end, he's left with just a single fang. It wasn't a random choice. Disney deliberately made him look less intimidating. Snakes naturally evoke fear for many people, so reducing the fangs helps transform Gary into a more comedic, approachable, and even endearing character. That single tooth makes him funnier and cuter, perfectly balancing the scary snake trope with lovable sidekick energy. Another fun criminal callback comes with Duke Weaselton, the small-time crook Judy arrested early in her police career. In Zootopia 2, he's back peddling bootleg movies on the street. Pay close attention to one of the fake DVD covers. He's selling a version of Frozen where Sven is depicted as a moose instead of a reindeer. At first, you might think it's because the real Sven couldn't appear due to rights, but that's not the case. Sven shows up in Moana as one of Maui's transformations. In an animal-dominated world like Zootopia, this mismatch is a clear sign that Duke is selling a cheap, dishonest bootleg version of the Arendelle Princess movie. It's a clever way to show his shady character while winking at the audience. Over at the police precinct, there's a nerdy gem on one of the computer screens belonging to the officer Nick knocked out with a soda can. Sticky notes are plastered there with hilarious tech jokes. One reads, "There's no place like 127.0.0.1, which tech-savvy viewers will instantly recognize as the local host IP address, basically saying, there's no place like home, in programmer speak. Another note mentions someone named Molly needing to change password. These little Easter eggs reward rewatches and make the Zootopia world feel authentically detailed and modern. The wealthy Lynx family has a tense, almost fearful dynamic with the horse mayor, hinting at how money can buy unfair influence and power in any society. It's a subtle commentary that lands more with adult viewers, showing that even the highest elected official is wary of crossing the richest family in the city. It adds a layer of social realism beneath the colorful adventure. Nick's incredibly messy apartment is another telling detail many overlook. Toward the end, he confesses to Judy that he's always dreamed of being part of a real family. His cluttered living space reflects his loneliness and lack of motivation to create a home when he's living by himself. It's a touching insight into his character arc and hints at his deeper longing for connection and belonging. During a video call with her parents, Judy's grandmother makes a memorable appearance. She openly prays for Judy to come home safely and start a family, making it clear she's not thrilled with her granddaughter's dangerous police career. It adds sweet family pressure and leaves us wondering how she'd react if Judy ever did pursue a relationship with a certain charming fox. When the disgraced former Mayor Bellwether appears in her prison cell, sharp-eyed fans will notice the setting mirrors Hannibal Lecter's cell from The Silence of the Lambs. The thick glass barrier and dark brick walls are unmistakable. It cleverly underscores just how dangerous and calculating Bellwether truly is, elevating her villainy with a horror homage. Finally, that desert festival called Burning Mammal is a hilarious parody of the real-world Fire Festival disaster, a luxurious event that turned into a total scam and became an internet meme. Disney cleverly nods to both kids and adults by including pop culture references that work on multiple levels. Zootopia 2 is layered with these thoughtful touches that reward attention and rewatches. What was your favorite hidden detail? Did I miss any big ones? Drop them in the comments below so we can discuss. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos breaking down more animated secrets, Easter eggs, and theories. There are 2 more exciting videos waiting for you right after this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure. Stay curious, stay kind, and keep exploring the wonderful world of Zootopia.